I started my real estate photography business 11 years ago, and over that decade, I've grown from a solo photographer doing very few shoots to now owning a real estate business that does thousands of shoots per year and has a full team of photographers and even a leadership team that completely runs the business for me. And one thing I can tell you for sure about this industry is that the only thing that has remained consistent is that things are constantly changing. The good news is I think those changes have all been for the better, and if you're able to embrace the changes, not only is it a good time to be a real estate photographer and you're able to make a lot more money, I think it's easier to be a real estate photographer these days. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about the 3 biggest things that have changed, that have become outdated. That way, if you own an existing real estate photography business and you've been in business for a while, you can help modernize by making changes in your business and stay with what's working today so your business continues to thrive. And then if you're new to real estate photography and you're thinking about starting your business or you just started it, you'll be able to make sure that you are not doing these 3 things, that you're doing the quote unquote new version of it to help your business continue to grow as you work to get things off the ground. So jumping straight into it, one of the biggest changes that I've seen over the last really 3 to 5 years is the amount of real estate photographers, like the percentage of real estate photographers that don't edit their own photos. So when I first started shooting real estate 11 years ago, just about everybody edited their own photos. Like the concept of outsourced photo editing didn't really exist back then. And not only did the industry not exist, I think most photographers just thought it wasn't what it meant to be a real photographer, whatever that means. And so what happened 11 years ago, 10 years ago, 9, even 8 and 7 years ago, most photographers did not outsource their editing. And so this is what it looked like to be a real estate photographer. They would wake up in the morning and they would go do the shoots, and then they would come home at 3, 4, 5 o'clock and spend hours editing their real estate photos, a lot of times into the night, and then they would deliver their photos, wake up the next morning and do it all over again. And so back then, a lot of real estate photographers would do real estate for as short a period of time as possible as kind of their way into being a photographer, and they didn't really like real estate photography. It was like a stepping stone, and they would as quickly as possible go into like higher end architecture, photography, commercial photography, and just try to get out of real estate. Well, that couldn't be more different today, and I think one of the big reasons for that is a lot of real estate photographers, the vast majority of them, outsource their editing. And so if you're new to hearing that term, what that means is you go out and do shoots all day as a real estate photographer, you make your $500 to $1,000 that a fully booked real estate photographer will bring in a day approximately. And then at the end of the day, instead of spending all night editing your photos and working way too much, you send them off to an editor. The editor edits those photos for you overnight, and you wake up to photos ready to deliver the next morning. Cool thing about this process is not only is it not very expensive, it's usually between 60 and 80 cents an image for really good editing. It's also able to be done at night, like I said, and the reason for that, and the reason for the cheaper price as well, is because most photo editors and photo editing businesses are in Vietnam, India, and the Philippines. And there's a couple reasons for that. Number one is the cost of living in those 3 countries is a lot cheaper than it is in the United States. And so you're able to outsource to your editor who lives there. They're able to charge a lot less because their lifestyle costs a lot less because everything is cheaper, and you're able to not spend your entire day editing. Then you wake up the next morning and get great photos. Now, the other cool thing about that is not only are they going to be way better at editing than you because they do it for a living, whereas you had to do photos and editing, the really cool thing is if you're just starting, you don't even have to learn editing. And so in the past, when I said it was harder to be a real estate photographer, that was because you had to have more skills. You had to learn editing, and editing is the hardest part of real estate photography. And so for those people that are starting their business in the last few years, they don't even have to spend the hours and hours and hours learning how to edit. In fact, I just did a video with Edwin, who we worked with in coaching, and he talked about in that video, that interview that I did with him, that he doesn't even have an editing software on his computer. He just has something he can draw lines on photos and drone photos to show the lot lines. I think that's really cool, because the thing that made me not like real estate photography at the start, and the thing that made my hourly rate so low, was because I spent so much time editing, and the editing takes way longer than shooting the photos in the first place. And the cool thing about that change is that's when I think real estate photography for the average real estate photographer became not so much a stepping stone, but more of a career and something they could build a business in, because you don't get burnt out like you used to, because you can shoot for a normal normal day and be done. You don't have to work like 2 shifts to try to get experience to try to move on. Like real estate photography has become, and a lot of photographers still don't see this because they're impacted by their thoughts of what it used to be. It's become an awesome way to make money as a photographer, and I couldn't be more excited to own a real estate photography business. I'm so glad that I didn't look for that stepping stone out to commercial or architectural photography or something else, because real estate photography is just by far the most scalable photography niche that I've seen. And that was important for me because I wanted to ultimately build a business that could continue to operate without me. And that's what my business currently does today. Moving on to the second thing that is outdated, and that is like the old style tripod based videos. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 years ago, there wasn't the gimbal technology that there is today. And if you're newer, a gimbal is something that holds your camera steady so you can walk around and do shots that wouldn't have been possible on a tripod. And so what I still see photographers doing today that really kills how much money they make is they shoot video on a tripod with a fluid head, or they do a lot of like panning movements, even if they're using a gimbal. And the reason that really costs them a lot of money is because even if you're using newer technology or using a gimbal, doing those old style panning movements looks like an old video, therefore it's not as good of a video, therefore you don't get as many agents ordering it and you don't make as much money, which is sad because video is such a great way to make money as a real estate photographer. And so the thing to fix there is not anything different about the gear you have, it's just how you're using it. You don't want to do any panning shots. That's like our #1 rule for all of our photographers. Do push-in shots, do slider shots, walk around the house and do a speed ramp that's really smooth. So make sure your video doesn't look like it is on a tripod. But really the whole point of the second thing that's become outdated is there's just a different style of video. So when we're talking about normal horizontal videos, that's what you want to do. You want to have more movement in your shots. You don't want to do any pans, but there's also a brand new type of video that has become really popular, which at Norman & Young, my photo business, we call social media reels. And that is vertical video. So instead of shooting horizontal, we're shooting vertical. And that's because Instagram reels, TikToks, all different types of vertical video content has become what people are consuming. And so smart real estate agents want to use vertical video to market houses because that's what people are watching on social media. So overall, horizontal, we call them cinematic videos at Norman & Young, are still in style if you do them right, and they're a great way to make a lot of money. But one of the mistakes a lot of people make is they don't also offer vertical video. Now here's the really cool thing with vertical video. You can totally shoot awesome vertical videos on your iPhone and your clients will love them and they won't care that you're using an iPhone. And the reason I know that is because that's exactly what we do at my business, and so do many of the clients we coach as we help them grow their business. So that's exciting because you probably have an iPhone, you're able to just start making money with that. And the cool thing is, if you're not in a position to buy the equipment that you need to shoot video horizontally properly, you can just start with vertical video with the phone that you have. And the third thing that has become outdated is how many real estate photographers used to market their services. So in the past, real estate agents were much more likely to be physically in an office. And today that's a little bit different. There are still brokerages that have physical locations, but not only do the agents not hang out in there as often as they used to because the way homes are sold has completely changed. Most agents are working somewhat remotely, but there's also been a rise of a lot of internet brokerages that don't even have a physical office. And so here's why this made a change. One of the ways that I tried to grow my real estate photography business at the start that actually worked, but definitely doesn't work now, or at least is very ineffective, is I would literally go drop flyers off at brokerages, and the agents were at the brokerage, they'd see the flyers, and it would sometimes work. Well, that type of marketing, any like old school marketing, really just doesn't work as well today. And that's why we use something called the Instagram method. More and more agents are adopting social media as part of their marketing strategy. I will say, as salespeople, they're a little slow to adopt that, like slower than the general public. But the last few years especially, agents have more and more leaned into using social media. And that means we need to find them where they are. And that's why I teach, and all of our coaching clients use the Instagram method to get clients for their business. So instead of dropping a flyer at a brokerage or even trying to go in person and sell your services, you go where the agents are, which is online on Instagram. You develop the relationship with them there using that process that we teach. You offer them a free first shoot, and that starts the relationship. And for me, that's another big win because I do not like selling in person. You probably, chances are, don't as well. The idea of walking into a brokerage cold where no one knows me and trying to talk my way into getting a client is not what I want to do. And so it's exciting for me that we can build our business online these days. So those are 3 of the bigger changes that I've seen. And like I said, those are all really positive if you ask me. It's actually an industry where people want to build a business and scale it and stay because it's awesome. And a lot of that has been driven by the fact that we don't have to edit our own photos anymore, that there's an entire industry built around editing photos for you. The second thing is there's way more opportunity to create more products for agents through new style video. And that's a good thing because in the past, without video being as popular, the average order value, the amount of money we made per shoot was a lot lower. You'd see a lot of people doing like $175 is what they would make per shoot. Now you see a lot $300, $400, $500 even dollars per shoot. And a lot of that difference is because video services are now being ordered. So agents are spending more money with real estate photographers. And then third, like I said, who wants to drive around to brokerages, drop flyers off, cold introduce yourself to people? It sounds awful. And so for me, the fact that you can build a business leveraging a free Instagram account and just your time, that you can do this at home, you don't have to see anybody in person, is awesome. I'm a pretty introverted guy. I know I make content online, so that sounds kind of crazy, but it's true. I stay at home a lot. I don't really like to go network with people that I don't know. It's not something I find enjoyable. And so for me, this is an awesome change. So if you're an existing real estate photographer, I hope this video gave you a couple tips on how you could modernize your business, save more time, make more money. And if you're a new real estate photographer, there's your roadmap for how to set your business up for success from the start. If you want my team and I to be alongside you as you work to build your business and give you a roadmap, we would love to work with you in coaching. You can find more information about that below and talk with someone on my team about what your roadmap would look like. Look forward to working with you, and I'll see you in the next video.